Let's do a quick pick a pile reading for connections in separation. So we've got pile 1 here, pile 2, pile 3 and pile 4. I'm just going to ask with each of these piles what's happening in the connection, what the block is, and then what is coming next for this connection. So just have a look at these piles for a minute, see which one is calling out to you. I know a lot of people like to go with their first instinct, but depending on if this feels right for you, I would just listen to all of them and just see which one resonates the most for you. I think resonance is really important. So, have you picked? Are you ready? Let's have a look at pile 1. Okay, this is pile 1. We've got the King of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, and the King of Swords. So, what is happening in this connection? It looks like you and or your person are just very much focused on your goals and projects in the material world right now. So this is just where the two of you are focusing. You're not necessarily focused on the connection right now. There's probably quite a lot going on in your life and you're quite busy and you probably don't even have time for a relationship anyway at this point. This feels positive to me though. It doesn't feel like there's a ton of longing or sadness around the separation. You're just very focused on the projects that you have on the go at the moment. And so what's the block? Seven of Pentacles. This could be a timing thing. It could just be a question of this is a cycle and you've both just got to focus on this for now and that's just the way it is. Also with this card, it sometimes makes me feel like impatience could be a block. So if you're asking yourself a lot, when is this going to change? When is this or that going to happen? You're getting attached too much to outcomes and timings. That could be a block that can create resistance for you. So what's next? It looks like there's communication coming in for you. And with this being the King of Swords, I feel like the masculine side of the connection is the one that's going to bring in that connection. Remember, that doesn't necessarily mean the man in the connection. It's just that person that's carrying more of the masculine, the divine masculine energy. So there's communication coming in, but this isn't necessarily the most romantic of cards. It's not necessarily going to be a declaration of love. It's looking a bit more like just a nice conversation where you clear a few things up. I don't know if you can hear my throat going with this as well. So I think there's maybe a lot that this person wants to get off their chest and just get out in the open. So pile 2, this is your reading. What's happening in the connection right now? There is a lot of longing, nostalgia. It feels quite emotional. The energy is quite dreamy between the two of you. You could even literally be dreaming about each other quite frequently. There's a lot of kind of love energy flowing between the two of you, and that can sometimes feel really nice and intoxicating, but sometimes it can be a bit intense and it can cause feelings of frustration as well if you kind of allow yourself to, if you allow that to take over too much. So when it comes to what the block is, I've got the Devil here. This is overthinking, it's ego, it's fears, doubts, insecurities. So I think what we're looking at here is a case of if you allow those feelings of longing to tip over into frustration, or with this card, sometimes it's even obsession. So just watch it and try to keep you cool, try to stay detached maybe, and definitely don't let your mind come up with worst case scenarios, filling in the blanks. Just really try to detach. I've got the Five of Cups here when it comes to what's next. This looks a bit like an apology to me. So I know there's this kind of nostalgia feeling, it feels really nice, but I think maybe there's something that's happened in the past here that needs to be cleared. So this could be a conversation about the past, or it could quite literally be your person apologising for what's happened and really clearing the air with you. This is group 3's reading. So I actually feel like with this group, there could be a little bit of communication already. Maybe just the odd, very brief conversation, or just, single word answer with text messages. But I get this feeling with this connection that there's a bit of excitement here, because it feels like even though that you've got some communication and it's very, very sporadic, it's still a movement in the right direction, and that's quite exciting. But when it comes to the block, with this 10 of Wands here, it looks like pressure is the block. So you've got to be really careful with these circumstances, that when this communication is coming in, you're not kind of obsessing over it, you're not getting really tense about it, you're not over analysing it and giving too much energy to it. You've just kind of got to keep relaxing around this, because sometimes I think we create pressure and we don't even mean to. So what this is going to look like is, if you're kind of hanging on the phone for that next text message, or if you're trying to push your person to communicate more, just try not to do that. Keep stepping back and let this happen as naturally as possible. So what's next? Ace of Cups. This is probably, out of all of the piles, this is the most positive looking group. This Ace of Cups symbolises a fresh start for the relationship, or even a full-on new relationship together. And it's a really lovely card that is full of emotion and love. It's very healthy and open and natural, and so I think the key here is just allowing this to happen. Everything's on the right track. It's all going to happen very naturally and effortlessly, as long as you can keep your cool and not put too much pressure on the situation. So group 4, what is happening in this connection? I think with this connection, you, especially if you are the feminine energy in the connection, I think you've made a decision to kind of just go, I'm done with this. I've made that decision to walk away from the connection now, because there's been this element of it being so completely mentally draining on you, and I think you've had to put a boundary up and say, I just can't give energy to this right now. It's not healthy for me. I need to focus on something else, no matter what that means for the future. I just can't be focusing on it right now. It's not good for me. And so what's the block? 7 of Swords. There's some kind of illusion or deception here. Things are just not how they might seem, and I think what's happened here is something's happened in the past, and it feels like it could even be recent past, and this could have been the trigger to make you go, I'm out, that's enough for me. But there's something around this that is not what it seems, and I think if you had that full picture, the complete truth, you might have reacted differently, or you might completely see the situation in a different light. And so when it comes to what's next, I think with this Star card here that you're actually going to find out what this truth is, and this is going to make you go, you know what, I wonder if something could still happen here, or it's just going to make you feel good. It's going to validate you in some way. It's going to make you feel like, do you know what, I was right about that. But this is a positive card. It's not like you're going to find this truth out and then you're going to be like, I knew it, I'm walking away even more now. It's not like that. It's something that's going to bring you a sense of hope, renewed hope for this connection. So I'm kind of interested to know what that could be. So let me know if your pile resonated for you, if you feel like you picked the right pile, or if you changed your mind halfway through the reading, and I will catch up with you in the comments.